Okay, I'm adding 50 grams of bentonite to 200 grams of plain water to let it slake down so that I can add it to an already mixed glaze. So just sprinkle that in there. Okay, so you can see the weight on the scale is now 250 grams. So I added 50 grams of bentonite to 200 grams of water. And it's important to add the bentonite to the water and then don't touch it. So I have a stopwatch going. So I'm going to just calculate approximately how long it takes for this to slake down completely. And then it's easy to mix, and you can add it to your wet glaze. Okay, we are a couple minutes in to this bentonite slaking down. So I have not touched it. You can see the bentonite starts to kind of fall away from itself as each little particle becomes submerged with water. So let's see if you can focus in on that. Kind of like glaciers calving as they melt. The edges kind of start falling off. And I just want to make sure that I don't touch it until it has completely submerged itself. So I'm just going to leave this for a few more minutes, and then when I come back I should be able to give it a stir, and there should be no clumping whatsoever. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes since I added the bentonite to the water. You can see the little bubbles. That's normal for the air trapped in between the particles of bentonite are released to the surface as the bentonite becomes submerged in water. So the peak of our little bentonite mountain is almost fully submerged with water. There's still a bit of activity there. I might just give it a little tap, tap, tap. I don't want to disturb it too much. So now it's all underwater, for sure. So if I start shaking it around, I can see that the particles are falling apart from each other. So I think I should be good to give this a mix. So now when I stick my spatula in, you can see the bentonite is very soft, just like slip. So I can safely mix this around. And so once all of the particles have been fully enveloped with water and wet on all sides, they can no longer stick to each other. So now I have myself exactly 50 grams of bentonite in liquid form. So I can use that in a glaze as needed. I'll write on the outside of the container 50 grams. This will settle out, and I can always pour some of the clear water off the top. Should be pretty settled within a couple hours, so that all I have is just wet bentonite, because you don't want to add tons more water to your glaze if you don't have to. But if I wanted to add, so 50 grams of bentonite, that would be 1% of a 5,000 gram bucket. So if I had a smaller glaze batch, I could always just divide this bentonite in half or into thirds or whatever I need to, just by volume, just by mixing really well, and then I could divide it in half, so then I have 25 grams of bentonite in each half, and so then I could use that. But that is how you make some wet bentonite that you can then add to your wet glazes as needed. Okay, hope that was helpful.